Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our Cookalong. It is 12 o'clock and I am going to show you a fabulous recipe. So welcome everyone. Just to introduce myself while everyone's logging in, my name's Christine Bailey. I'm a nutritionist, I'm a chef, and I'm an owner of the Cook Expert, and I use it on a regular basis. And one of the joys is that it is straightforward and simple. So if you are new to using the Cook Expert, maybe you haven't even got a Cook Expert, but you're interested in looking and finding out more about it, this is a perfect demo for you because it will just show you how easy it is to make the most of it in your kitchen. So welcome everyone. I know that you're all just logging in. Let us know where you are, whether you're in the UK, whether you're overseas. We're here in Surrey. The weather's good, but my recipe is perfect for this sort of autumn transition. I'm going to show you today how to make a Sicilian fish one pot. And that's what I love. It's a one pot. You are going to be able to get this on your table probably in 20-30 minutes. It's only using a handful of ingredients as well. And I'm going to show you through this demo how you can mix and match. So, you know, depending on what you've got in your fridge, you are still going to be able to create this recipe. So welcome everyone. It's great to have you on board. So I'm going to get started. Remember that on the events page, all the ingredients are listed for you. I will talk you through what I'm going to use, what settings, but they are also on the events page as well. So hopefully you're going to cook with us. If you cook later, do take a picture. Let us know how it's gone down with the family. This is one of my favourite sort of evening weekday meals because it's so easy to make. And although I'm going to use fresh fish fillets, you could actually use frozen fish fillets. So it's a really good standby recipe, healthy as well. So let's get started. So I'm going to use the metal bowl to start with. Remember, when you get your Cook Expert, you get the metal bowl and you also get the food processor. Now, a lot of you who know me know that I pretty much use this on a daily basis for a whole range of different things. We're actually going to use both today. We're going to use the food processor to make a really nice fennel chicory salad, one of my favorites, but you know, this time of year it's a nice robust salad. And we're also going to use the actual metal bowl, the Cook Expert, to do the one pot. So we're going to start with this first. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to blitz up an onion, celery, and a bit of garlic. So when you make a sauce, and this is one of the great things about the Cook Expert, the metal bowl, first of all, 2.5 litres. So we're talking big. So if you've got a family, I've got teenagers, they're always hungry. I will often be using the whole of this because I need to serve 4 or 5 people. This will do that, which is great. So the first thing you need is 1 onion. And remember, you don't need to be dicing it because that's what you're using your Cook Expert for. It's going to do it all for us, which is fantastic. And then the celery stalk. You know, this is really good. Sauces are so good for using up things in the fridge. So sometimes what I'll also do is maybe add a carrot to that as well. So if you've got those leftover bits of veg from your box or in the back of your fridge, just use that. 1 whole clove of garlic. You could have a couple of cloves, you know, if you like it quite garlicky. A lot of the Italian dishes, particularly the tomato-based dishes, actually will have quite a bit of garlic in there. So, you know, feel free to add a couple of garlic cloves to that. Put the lid on. We're going to use the expert mode. Remember that with Cook Expert, 13 preset programs. And you get the expert mode. Now that means you have total control of the heat, the speed, the timing. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do 30 seconds because all I really want to do is blitz it up. So it's nice and finely chopped, evenly chopped. Saves me a lot of time. So I don't need any heat. We're not heating this, but I'm just going to turn up the speed, and I'm going to use about 13. I find that chops it really quite nicely. You're only going to need that 30 seconds. Obviously, lid on for this bit. That's again the nice thing about the Cook Expert. You can decide what you're going to do, the speed, the time. And so if you're someone who loves to just make up their own recipes, you'll find that this is so easy to just vary according to your own taste. Right, so that's all done. We're going to stop that. And quickly, this will blitz everything up really nicely finely. And this is perfect for, the base of any sauce or stock or even gravy. You get a spatula as part of the Cook Expert. It's actually a 2-in-1 spatula. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you can actually take off that plastic top and you get this sort of metal little bit in the middle, which you can actually use just to very gently scrape any burnt bits, if you're cooking, for example. I sometimes might use that with a little bit of, say, white wine vinegar, if you've got something that's quite a strong smell. So I'm just scraping it back down, because now what I want to do is I actually want to saute this. So just a drizzle of olive oil. You don't need very much, just a little. And this time, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to take the lid off, because what I want to do is create that sort of sautéing effect. So if you were standing over the hob, stirring away, you would saute it. And that really releases the flavour. So I actually want the lid off for this. Now again, I don't need this for very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably just do it for about 3 minutes or so. Probably not even that. And you'll see, because this is induction, it will very quickly get the heat up, which is really good. So if you want something fast and instantaneous, this will do it. Now, I don't need it at 13, because all I just want it to do is just stir it for me. So I'm going to take it down to a 3. Now, what that will mean is it's going to just stir it through, just like you were standing over a hob stirring. Now, I want the temperature up, so I'm going to get this to 120, and you will see quite quickly how the heat is very, very noticeable. So what this is going to do, it's stirring it around, it's heating it with the oil. So it's creating that lovely saute effect. And again, when you're making sauces, and this is the lovely thing about a Cook Expert, you'll be able to create those traditional sauces that you may have got from the supermarket. You're going to make them yourself. You're going to save time, but also these are so much healthier. I haven't yet added any salt to this at all. There's no additives. This is a great way of making sauces in bulk as well. Now, I don't know whether you can see, because I can see it from here and I can smell the onion. It's amazing. But can you see how quickly that's heating up? I can actually see steam coming out. Now, the nice thing is that this is not going to stick, because it's constantly stirring. Now, you do get 2 speed options where it will alternate the speed. So we call them 1A and 2A. And what that is very useful for, and we're going to use it for in a little bit, is if you just want to occasionally stir it, but you don't want to be breaking anything up. At the moment, I just want that to heat up and get that full flavour. But later on, we'll use the 1A and the 2As for other things as well, where you just want to gently stir it. This is perfect time saver, because now I could be getting on with something else. You could be preparing other things for your evening meal. That's the beauty of the Cook Expert. It's actually going to take a lot of the hassle and time out of it. Once you've set it to do its thing, it's going to do it, and you don't need to worry. Now, for those of you who are perhaps new to the Cook Expert, and do let me know whether you have a Cook Expert, what your favourite dishes are, what you like to cook. But if you're fairly new to it, remember, you also have 13 preset programs. So I'll tell you a secret. On Saturday, I had to go away for the day. I left one of my teenage sons in charge of the cook expert. I gave him a load of veg and I said, just make a soup. And he just went for it. And the nice thing is that there are actually two soup options. There's a cream and there's a puree soup option. But all he needed to do was chuck everything in with a bit of stock, some flavours, and he loves to experiment, so that's fine. Set the programme. 30 minutes later, he's got soup. He was happy. So, you know, if my teenage boys can use it, honestly, it's so, so simple. We have also a lot of other functions. So say you like to make your own bread. It's got a dough setting, it's got pastry, it's got cake settings. You can whisk egg whites in it, for example, which are incredible. I mean, really, really fluffy egg whites. But also, it also has a steamer function as well. The reason I'm mentioning that is one of the things that I like to serve alongside this one pot is some just steamed new potatoes. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well, but I will often use the steam function just to steam some extra veg or some rice even, or some potatoes. So again, you've got a lot of preset functions that you can use. So let me know, everyone, what functions you use a lot. Maybe you use the cook expert bit, the expert part a lot. Just let us know what you're cooking, because it'd be great to you know, share ideas and tips about what you like to cook. So you can see that's beeped at me. The steam's coming out. It's hot. It smells amazing. The basis of any good sauce is to really prepare the base first. And you see here, what I could have also done is maybe add a carrot, courgette, and then suddenly you're creating a very nutritious sauce, and it's going to be very nicely smooth and blended, full of flavour. So if you've got those kids that don't like their veg, this is a really good way of getting them to have more. So I'm going to show you the next part of the one pot, which is really just creating a very flavoursome, rich, Sicilian style, slightly sweet, sour tomato sauce. So this is passata. So we're going to add about 300 mils of passata. Now the reason I use passata rather than say a can of chopped tomatoes is I just find it's a little bit richer. So you could use a can of chopped tomatoes instead, just, you know, see what you've got in the cupboard. Now here I've got sliced red pepper. Now the reason I've sliced it is because I do actually want some texture in my sauce. So I don't just want it a pure tomato sauce, I actually want some texture in there. I'm then adding just a couple of teaspoons of brown sugar, could be white sugar, it could be honey, maple syrup. Now, the reason being is that I'm also adding here 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. So we had that delicious little tang with the vinegar and the sugar. That's what makes it really, really quite special compared to just your standard tomato sauce. Now, I'm not going to season it at this stage. That I'll do at the end. Now, at this point, we're going to put the lid on because I really just want to develop the flavour. I'm not looking to reduce it down, but there will be times where you might be making a sauce and you do want to reduce it down, in which case you take the lid off. That's the great thing. But I want the flavour to really develop in this sauce. So this time, again, we're still using the expert mode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time up to about 4 to 5 minutes. That's enough, really. It really doesn't take very long. Now, with the actual speed, I'm just going to take it down to 1A. So I just want it to alternate, stop, and then alternate again. Now, the temperature, 120 again. So we want it to cook. This is really going to develop the flavour now. So we've got 5 minutes of just creating that flavoursome sauce. Now what you could do, not that this is really going to take you very long, you could actually just prepare the sauce well ahead, just keep it in there, and then when you're ready to cook your fish, you could then just pop your fish in. So if you're making this now, you could just prepare this and then just do the very last bit just before you want to eat. What I'm going to do is while that's doing its thing, I'm just going to blitz up some fresh herbs. This is for our salad. We're going to be making a fennel chicory salad. I love this salad. It is so typical autumn because it's robust and you can prepare it ahead. You know, a lot of the light leafy green salads, which are gorgeous, you really only have to dress straight away just before you eat them. This one is robust enough. And we're going to use a food processor. We're going to use some of the discs, but first of all, I'm just going to use the small bowl with the blade, which I use a lot for things like herbs and spices. So in here, handful of fresh parsley and fresh mint. That combination works so well with fennel. I'm a really big fan of fennel. I use it a lot. I do it in sort of bakes as well as salads as well. But what we want to do is just blitz this up. Can you imagine if you wanted to blitz up your herbs, you know, using a food processor just saves you so much time compared to using your knife. You know, that's just seconds. Whereas if you're chopping away on a board, you know, you've got more washing up and so on. Now, what I will often do is when I have, you know, a load of herbs in my fridge or on my windowsill, I will often blitz up a lot and then I will put them in little ice cubes or little plastic bags and freeze them. And then you can just take them out, plop them into sauces, stews, casseroles, you know, whenever you want to just jazz something up. It's a really good time saver. I'm just going to put it, first of all, in the bowl. So this is just chicory. If you've got that red chicory, that's really colourful. But the reason I like chicory, it's got that nice little sour taste to it. It's a bitter, it's very, very good for digestion from a health point of view, and it's a very seasonal thing at this time of year. So I'm just going to plop in that. We're going to be dressing this with a really simple lemon olive oil dressing, and it goes really well with these herbs in particular. Now the next stage of the salad is actually using the discs. So when you get your food processor, remember you get 4 discs, slicers and graters. And if you are someone like me that loves salads and things like as well fermented foods, so I will often make sauerkraut kimchi. I don't know if anyone else does that. Let me know, because they are so good for you, honestly, so good for you and so easy to make. When you've got the food processor, this will just take a lot of stress out of things, because you can quickly grate and shred your cabbages and your carrots and so on for sauerkraut and kimchi. It is so, so simple. So what we're going to be actually using today is, because I want to actually finely shred up the fennel, is we're going to use one of the thinner slicing discs. So you get 2 different discs. You get the thinner one, which is about 2 millimeters, and that's the one that I'm going to be using. I will use the thicker one actually for the apples, because I just want a little bit more texture. And again, this is the great thing, you can just vary it accordingly. Now, before I get started on that, this is pretty much done. Wow, this is hot. So the sauce is now ready for the final ingredients, and you can see how simple this is. So that's all done, and you'll probably see all the steam coming up. It heats up so, so quickly. So, you know, when you are wanting something quick, speedy, this is going to be such a time saver. And of course, very little washing up. And remember, one of the programs is a rinse program. So what I will often do is, once you've finished, just pour in some water. I sometimes will add either a little bit of white wine vinegar or even a splash of, you know, washing up liquid. Put it on the rinse mode, and it's going to clean it for you as well. So again, it's so simple. It's also dishwasher proof, of course. So, you know, saving yourself a lot of time. So the final ingredients then. Now what I've got here is just 30 grams, or just a handful, pine nuts and some sultanas. The sultanas are optional. I know not everyone likes dried fruit in their savoury dishes, but it gives that lovely little Sicilian sort of flavour. You cannot have an Italian dish without olives and capers. So again, a handful of capers are going in, and I'm actually using black olives, but you know, black or green olives. I've just got the pitted olives here as well. Those are going in. And that's just going to give me such a lovely colour and extra texture. Then we're going to put in our fish. Now, I'm actually using cod today, boneless. Now, I have taken the skin off. I generally take the skin off myself. I just feel that it's nicer than buying it skinless. I would say skin is fine, because actually often when you cook fish, particularly the very light fish like cod or haddock, it can break up. You know, if you're cooking it even in a pan, if you're sauteing it, it can sometimes break up without the skin. But I have taken the skin off just because my kids don't like skin. Now these are quite thin, so I actually think that this is only going to take 5 minutes. If you've got thicker fillets, and again, you could use frozen as well, I would allow about 8 minutes. And what you want to do is you're just literally pushing the fish fillet into the sauce. So what's going to happen is it's effectively going to poach in that liquid. And you can get, I mean, I've got 4 big fillets in there. You can easily feed a nice family. You know, with just this one pot. It's 2.5 litres, so, you know, it's a big size. And again, because what we actually want to do is effectively steam it in the sauce, we keep the lid on. Now, this time, I don't want it to stir at all. All I want it to do is just cook that fish and develop the flavour in the sauce. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the speed down to 0. So that means it's not actually going to stir at all for me. And then the only other thing I need to do is just take the time up. And I'm going to put that to about 5 minutes. I don't think it's going to need much more than that, to be honest. And you can see how quickly this dish is taking. You know, all we've done is prepare the base, the sauce, and then you're adding your final ingredients. The other thing that I often will do at this point is maybe add a few prawns to this as well. Now, if you're vegan, one of the things that I will often do is just turn this more into a Sicilian bean dish. So if you can get those very large butter beans that you can get in often in the glass jars, so they're already cooked, those are amazing in this. So it's almost slightly Greek in a way. So I would often add, instead of the fish, a couple of cans of butter beans. Chickpeas would work as well, actually. Or if you've got, say, some tofu, you might want to pan fry that just so that it goes a nice bit crispy, and then plop that in at the end as well. So you can easily turn this into a vegan dish as easy as it is a fish dish as well. So let me show you the salad. Let me know who uses their food processor every day, because it's one of my staples. If you're a food processor lover, just let me know, because I am with you on this. I love using the food processor. I will often use it actually for cake batters as well. As a lot of you know, I do a lot of allergy-free dishes, and I find the texture you get with the food processor for gluten-free bakes unbelievably good. So the first thing we're going to do for our salad is we're going to just shred the fennel. Fennel is so widely available at the moment. It's the right time to use some of these robust, sort of more root vegetables. So you can see how quickly this makes work. So again, if you haven't got fennel, carrot would be very good, cabbage would work as well. So I'm just going to shred that down. And it's really lovely and fine. It's a really lovely way of getting kids as well to try other vegetables. Maybe they've never tried fennel. It has that lovely sweet anise flavour to it, which I absolutely love. So I'm actually going to replace the blade. Remember, the discs are actually quite sharp, so just be mindful if you're, cooking with your children. Just be careful of that. So I just want the apple to be just a little bit wider. So what I'm going to add now, just move that out the way, is I've got a couple of, now I have obviously cored the apple. These are pink lady apples. I've got a couple of these. I really like that combination of the bitter of the chicory and the fennel with the apple, and it works really well with the lemon as well. So we're going to put these in, and then I'm also going to add some radish as well. That has such a vibrant colour, and again, brilliant time of year for radishes. Just look how quick it is. This is why I love the food processor, because you can save so much time and effort. And you've got a large enough capacity here to really make a lot of salads. So again, if you're someone that maybe is starting to go back to the office, maybe you need to have something with you that you want to take with you, but you also want something easy in the evening as well, this is going to make enough for you. Now let me just show you how simple it is with the radishes. So I have washed them, but all I actually do is just pile them in, and then I just switch it on. Isn't that great? It's just so fun. So there's little things in life that make me happy. And that's it. That is your salad. I'm going to show you the dressing, but it's just so simple. When you've got a food processor, you can just save yourself so much time. So I'm just going to move that over there, and I will show you the dressing in a minute. So all you then need to do is just toss everything together. You get your spatula for your food processor, and then this is where you want clean hands. And you're just going to quickly just mix it all together, like so. And you can see as well, the colours are amazing. And as well, if you had the sort of red chicory with this would be so vibrant as well. And the herbs really make this as well. So there we go. That's the actual salad. Now for the dressing, simple. Just like a good salad dressing should be. We've got the juice of 1 lemon in here. So that's really what we're doing, is about double the amount of oil compared to the acid. So I've got a juice of 1 lemon in there. You could add the zest as well. And then I've got 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Sometimes I will use the cold pressed rapeseed oil. I think that has a really lovely creamy texture. And then I like a little bit of Dijon mustard, so about half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And then I'm going to do the seasoning. So I want a little bit of black pepper, and then just a little bit of salt. And you probably heard the beep. The fish is already ready. So you can see how quickly this whole thing is taking. And then just a quick whisk. Remember, you can make dressings up, several days ahead, especially one as robust as this. Keep it in the fridge, and then you can just use it to dress a whole range of things as well. And then all I'm going to do is just pour that over, a quick little toss, and your salad is all ready to go. I mean, that's just so colourful, so full of autumn flavours, and also robust enough that actually you could dress this, you know, about an hour before you even want to serve it. The flavours will soak in, and it's a great one to sort of have in your fridge for a day or so. It's going to last. It's not going to wilt down. So that's my salad. Now, if I wanted to, at this point, I might reheat some, say, new potatoes, or I might use some rice and cook that. What I tend to do is, you've got a steamer function, which is 20 minutes, 110 degrees, 20 minutes. But you don't need to worry about that, because all you do is just press auto and it will steam it for you. You get your steamer basket, and this is so versatile. You can use it for fish, for veg, for rice, but also new potatoes. And you can steam your new potatoes. You can flavour the water that you steam it in. So you fill this with some water. You can add some herbs, some stock, and you can steam potatoes. And that would be a nice accompaniment as well. I've got some potatoes that I steamed a bit earlier, which, you know, I have sort of used for this recipe as well. But often I will use maybe some rice. I'll steam some rice with this as well. So let me show you the fish. So all nice and cooked. So remember, the timing that you will need might vary depending on, just going to move that there, depending on how thick your fish fillets are. But mine were quite thin, so they only took 5 minutes. I would say if you're doing it from frozen, give yourself about 8 minutes or so. And if they're quite thick, 8 to 10 minutes. But it's really not that long. But let me just show you. What I want to do is, I don't know if you can see that, but what I'm going to do is spoon it, and then I will hold it up so you can see it. And while I'm doing that, just let me know, what recipes would you like to see demonstrated in the Cook Expert? Do you want sweet? Do you want savoury? What sort of things have you thought, oh, I wonder if I could do that? Let us know, because you know, we're regularly doing these demos for you, and we love to hear your feedback, especially if you've made our recipe. So you can see the fish there. It's already lovely and light and flaking, and just perfect at this time of year. And then I'm just going to spoon over some of that delicious sauce, and the olives, the red peppers. I mean, this is just one of those warming, hearty, but ever so really healthy dishes. And this has taken us, what, 20, 30 minutes? That's all it's taken. So what we have here, let me just show you. We have our delicious Sicilian fish with our olives, red peppers and capers, our new potatoes, and of course our fabulous chicory, fennel and radish apple salad. So that's our cooking demo for the day. Thank you everyone for your time. Post any questions that you have about using the Cook Expert. What sort of recipes would you like? I know we're moving into the winter season now. Perhaps we want some warming dishes, getting ready for that festive season, but let us know. And we would love to do some more demos for you. Let us know as well, if you've cooked this, take some pictures, post them on the Facebook page. And if you're not a member of the Magimix Facebook page, join it, because it's a great community of sharing tips and recipe ideas as well. So thank you everyone for your time. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.